Hey everybody, it's Dr. Jonny Bowden from Barlean's Scientific Advisory Board, and today I want to talk to you about a very important topic, your immune system. Now, full disclosure, I'm recording this in social isolation in my house during the coronavirus pandemic. But I want to be very clear that I want this information about your immune system to be relevant 2 years from now. This is not about how to prevent the coronavirus. What it is about is how to strengthen your resiliency and your ability to fight off challenges, whatever they may be. And this is the thing about the coronavirus. We don't know how to tell you to prevent getting it. Not at all. So what do you do in life when you have a challenger that you don't know that much about? If you have a house on the coast of Florida and there's a hurricane coming and nobody can really predict the strength or the force or the direction of it, what do? The only thing you can do, and that is to strengthen your own house, to reinforce the foundations and to make it as resilient and strong as possible so that you can increase the likelihood that when the hurricane damage has been assessed, yours will be one of the houses that's still standing. So let me tell you what I do to make sure my immune system is firing on all cylinders. And I have a basic cocktail of things that form what I consider a very well thought out program to strengthen the processes that take place in the body that we call immunity. So, first thing is vitamin D. Vitamin D is one of these vitamins that just makes the immune system work better. And I'll tell you how it does that. See, if you have an overactive immune system, it's jumping at every little, like my puppy does. Every time there's a little noise in the house, he just, goes nuts. That's not good because that means your immune system's too active and it's doing friendly fire at your own tissues. Don't want that. But you also don't want a sluggish immune system because that can't respond to challenges and it doesn't have enough resources to really master a battle. Vitamin D is like the great balancer for the immune system. There are receptors for vitamin D on most of the immune cells in the body, which tells us that vitamin D has a modulating effect on their performance. So you really don't have an optimal immune system with suboptimal vitamin D levels. So I would start with vitamin D and make sure that everybody is adequate in that way. So vitamin D, number one. Number two, it's an old standstill. We hear it all the time. But vitamin C is an immune system booster. And we have tons of studies showing that it does just that. There are certain processes in the immune system like phagocytosis, which is when the immune cells come around and actually eat up the invaders, and those cells are turbocharged by vitamin C. It's that simple. The third nutrient that I consider essential for the optimal functioning of the immune system in general is zinc. Zinc doesn't get enough respect, but really the immune function doesn't happen without adequate stores of zinc. I would recommend during any challenging time, I want to up my forces a little bit. I'd move my zinc intake to about 30, even as high as 50 milligrams a day. You don't need more than that. The normal recommended levels are around 15, so I'd up that to 30 to 50. The fourth nutrient is something called N-acetylcysteine, also known as NAC. I like NAC because it's a powerful antioxidant, because it stimulates the production in the body of something called glutathione, which is our own endogenous most powerful antioxidant. And the third thing about NAC that I like is that it has a particular affinity for the upper respiratory system. So it's an antioxidant that likes to kind of migrate into the upper respiratory system and does its most effective work there. So it's a very, very good nutrient for these times. I like 600 to 900 milligrams a day of NAC. So my add-ons, and I want to be very clear what I mean by add-ons, not essential, not in the way that D and C and zinc are essential, but very, very important if you really want to tweak your immune system and make sure it's firing on all cylinders. Well, let's start with olive leaf extract, also known as olive leaf complex. Now, olive leaf contains all of those polyphenols that we tell you to use olive oil for. I mean, they come from the leaf and the plant. They're in all of it. And those polyphenols are highly antioxidant. They're good for the heart. They're just good for everything. And they're very effective against a host of microbes. In fact, I once wrote a little booklet about this, but it basically outlined all the research, and there is a substantial amount of it, on how effective olive leaf extract or olive leaf complex can be against various microbes. Again, let's put the disclaimer in. Nobody's ever tested this against the coronavirus. We don't know. But we can start to connect the dots and say, what makes our immune system in general work better? What's effective against microbes in other areas that we know about, that we have studied, and then sort of put together a program that makes sense. And that's why olive leaf extract is so important in the program that I've put together for myself, my family, and my clients. And the next on the list is elderberry extract. Now, elderberries are this great superfood that have all these wonderful things in it, but there's a couple things wrong. Number one, they taste horrible, and number two, you can't get them in the United States. So that makes elderberries not a likely choice. However, elderberry extract in a kind of syrup, that's the bomb. And there are actual studies in the literature showing that elderberry extract given to a randomized sample of patients shortened the number of days that people were ill with the flu. So I would add elderberry extract into any kind of basic immune fortification program. And finally, probiotics. Now, we know that they help the microbiome. That's that huge collection of microbes that every human has in their gut that actually outnumber the number of human cells we have in our body. And we know that the health of the microbiome is vitally important. And we know that it's vitally important for immunity. And we know that probiotics help it. We don't know exactly what strains of probiotics are going to be right for what people, but we can make some general observations from the probiotic literature. And that is that probiotics in general, which are the good bacteria in the gut, replenishing those with a probiotic supplement is probably a good, prudent thing to do if you want to keep your immunity at top-notch functioning. So there's my immune cocktail. It's D, C, zinc, NAC, olive leaf complex, elderberry extract, and probiotics. That's a nice little sensible program to build your own resources. Again, if you have a strong, functioning, healthy immune system, you are more likely to be able to weather the kinds of challenges that are presented to us. This is Dr. Jonny Bowden for Barling Scientific Advisory Board, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.